Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Pinky, the housewife, and also I'm carrying this on my second channel, Pink Global. So this is Pinky, the housewife, and also for my second channel, Pink Global. Um, it's morning. It's Wednesday morning. Well, I only been up an hour, so to me it's still morning. I know it's 11:35 a.m. here, but it's still early for me because I still haven't finished drinking my coffee. I still have my coffee here, um, and I am here to do a continuation of this storm that's hitting us. Like, well, not us, but I say us because I got a lot of family members in Florida. When I say a lot of family members, I really mean I got a lot. My sister is there, my niece is there, I got several aunts there, cousins, lots of cousins, first cousins, second cousins, and probably third. I don't know. There's so many of them. We have our own tribe in Florida. Okay, um, so, and my sister and my niece is in Miami, Florida, but I do have other Opelika, Florida, other parts of Florida and stuff. So I do have a lot of family there. But prayers go out to everyone that's in Florida. A lot of my subscribers that live in Florida, people that come, my members, people that come into my chat that lives in Florida. This is a dangerous, dangerous situation we got going on with Hurricane Milton. Hurricane Milton is the biggest storm that we had in in over 100 years. 102, 103. I can't remember. One day I was laying up in the hospital when it first happened. They was talking about it, and they said it, and I calculated. I did it on my phone, and I can't remember what it said. I know it was over 100 years. We haven't seen a Category 5 in over 100 years to hit like this. Um, but it's been downgraded to a Category 4. But guys, this thing been going back and forth from 4 to 5, staying at a 5, 5 to 5, and so you never know. It may go right back up to a 4 before we get off. Okay, but let me just say hello to everybody. Um, Let me just help everybody as you coming in. I'm going to put on the live coverage once I get the house rules out of the way. We are going to be watching live coverage, and I showed it last night. We did we did coverage of the storm last night, and I must say it was a wonderful thing, a wonderful thing. Before I get on to that, let me just say something. I got something coming up I'm going to try to do when I read the docs on it. I read them a little last night, but I'm going to try to read the docs on them. I got another thing that's going to break the internet coming up soon. So it's going to break the internet. I put these docs yesterday. I went back through my stuff that I have. It's going to break the internet. Um, yes, I do. Nobody knows about it. It would be first time it's being out. So I'm going to break it. Okay, guys? And it's on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I just want to say that. Yeah. So I'm going to do that when I get a chance. But the storm is more important than, breaking the internet on one of them clowns right now, one of them criminals. But let me have everybody welcome to the Pink House. And can you all go ahead and hit the like button while you're coming in? Go ahead and hit that like button. I don't see that like button being hit like it needs to be. Okay? Come on, guys, hit that like button. The more likes I get on this, the longer I can stay on this live. I'm going to try to stay as long as possible because things are changing. But what I'm saying, things are changing. I'm watching it now from on my TV to the side right now. Hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. And this is going to be covered on my second channel, Pink Global, as well. So if you have not subscribed to Pink Global, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button on both, okay? So you're going to hit the like button, you're going to subscribe, and I'm going to go ahead and thank you right now for doing that, all right? Oh, gosh. It's just because I got a message from my niece this morning. I hope she's watching. She's in Florida. She's in Miami, Florida. I got a message and I read it this morning and texted her back this morning. She's my niece. This is the latest on the Hurricane Milton. Now it's at a Category 4, but it's still extremely dangerous in Florida. Don't let that change anybody's mind. This is still a very, very dangerous storm. Okay? Very dangerous storm. Let me say hello to everybody. Okay? Linda Gamble. Thank you, Linda Gamble, for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Linda Gamble is she's the moderator of all content creators. She's the best at it, the best at her game. She knows the YouTube streets like nobody's business. Make sure you all send Linda Gamble some love. All right? And Janetta, thank you, Janetta, for being here. Thank you so much for coming into the Pink House. Janetta is speaking in the bushes to Linda Gamble. Linda is speaking back to you. Now, Linda Gamble said you can support the channel by way of super chats and super stickers. Yes, you can. You can support the channel by way of super chat. And thank you, Linda, for bringing that up. So you can support the channel by cash apps and super stickers. All right. Thank you, Linda, for bringing that up. You can join the membership for just $2.99 a month and cash app $ Pinkie the Housewife. Thank you, Linda. And make sure y'all hit that like button coming in. Now, if you all got family members, let me just say, if you got family in Florida, if you got family in Florida, if you got loved ones, a brother, a sister, a mother, a cousin, loved ones, or just family friends, or people that you know, give them a shout out, okay? They may not be able to watch their TVs because they're probably still on the road, or they're probably still trying to get out if they haven't gotten out. I think everybody should have been gotten out by now, but if you haven't, they probably be on their phones. So they're not at home watching their TVs, because they're trying to get away from the storm. Okay? So this is a way that you can give them that shout out. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and get on to the matter at hand. We're going to go ahead and put this live, go ahead and put this storm up so we can watch it all together. Let me put my glasses on. It says right now, winds at 145 miles per hour. It's a Cat 4 right now. So winds at 145 miles per hour. And Milton is a Category 4 now. When I was doing my live last night about Hurricane Milton, it was a Category 5. Now it is a Cat 4. But you know, it can change in a heartbeat. Okay, because nobody knows Mother Nature but herself. I can't even tell you. You know, we as mothers, we still don't know Mother Nature. Okay, let me see what they're saying. Good morning. You say good morning, Miss Pinkie, in the #1 mod in the YouTube streets. That is correct. Thank you, MAF. Thank you. You're right. I told you, Linda is the #1. She's #1 in the YouTube streets. It says over 1,100 feet of flood waters crews racing to remove Helen debris ahead of Milton. So I was talking about that last night. They had trucks set up last night along the streets to remove the debris from Helena, or whatever you want to call that storm. Helena. They're trying to remove that debris because that debris can become projectiles, can become weapons. It can pierce through your home at 145 miles per hour. It can do damage. And they got so much debris everywhere. People was cleaning up from the storm, from Helena hurricane. Now they got to get back in their cars and get out of Dodge, what I call Dodge, which Florida, get back out because of the storm. And just not the people in Florida is going to be affected by the storm. Milton to make landfall as dangerous as a major hurricane. That is showing live from the Weather Center. It's showing live. They're showing live from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Temperature is 81 degrees. Right now, the winds are at 25 miles per hour right now. I'm just reading this off the live coverage from the TV right now. I'm going to show you all the live coverage too. Let me get it started for you. All right. I'm covering this. Okay, you all ready? Let me, I'm going to show you, this is, this live is going crazy. Let me just put up the one I got right now. Now this is Fox 9. Okay, this is Fox 9. Live Hurricane Milton. This is the cameras. They just have cameras set up so you can look at it and see it for yourself. And this is a live. This is broadcasting live to you all right now. Hi, Miss Tina. Thank you for coming back this good afternoon. I pray that you are recovering well, Miss Pinkie. I am. I'm doing a lot better than yesterday. I got my coffee here. And guys, I'm still sitting here with my medicine and haven't even took my medicine right now. You know, because, you know, I got my other medicine. Yesterday, my daughter went and got it that they prescribed for me from the hospital. You know, I got out of the hospital yesterday morning. But I'm doing much better, Miss Tina. Yes, I am. Miss everybody, this is live coverage right now. This is a camera set up, and it's showing live coverage. Okay, the information credit would go to Fox 9. It would be down in my description box. It will be down in my prescription. I said prescription box. In my description box. You know why I said prescription box? Because I was taking out prescriptions on medicine to take. And I said prescription box. Oh my God. Y'all know sometimes I get, but this is live here. Okay. This is live. Let me go ahead and subscribe to this channel so I can keep updated with all the latest information. So this is live. This has been going on. This is a live here, live footage. This is Crystal River, Florida right now. Ooh, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. You see it's gray. The skies are gray. But I'm going to, I got another channel that I've been watching too. So I'm going to go in and out of different ones, covering the storm like I did last night. Okay, guys, you can see it. Okay, I'm going to still, those boats that are sitting there, you see all those boats that are sitting there, guys? Those boats are not going to be sitting. This is live coverage. Those boats are not going to be sitting there by the time that storm make landfall. Ooh, you see how dark the skies are? They're not going to be sitting there. in a little bit. Them boats are going to be gone. They're going to be up in somebody's yard. But the house may not be there, but the yard probably still be there. They're going to be in somebody's yard. You can see it's raining though. This is the meadows in Florida. Okay. This is Tampa, guys. So it's showing you the different areas. This is Tampa, Florida here. Tampa. Oh, it's gray. That's letting you know a storm is coming its way. Okay, that's Tampa. You can see it looks like it's getting. I want y'all to look at how beautiful it is right now, because when Milton makes landfall, it's not gonna. This is Daytona Beach, Florida. Here, oh the waters are coming on in. Oh my God, Anna Marie, Florida. Oh gosh, it's coming, guys. You see how that wind is picking up over that bridge? I want you all to look at the way things looking now. This is Clearwater Beach, Florida. It's not going to look this way soon as the storm make landfall. This is going to be gone. But I hope I'm just delusional thinking it's going to be gone. Beautiful ship. Beautiful. You see that big, beautiful ship? Mm-hmm. Those everything. Look how beautiful that looks right now, guys. Look like paradise. Look like somewhere where I want to go have a picnic at. I want to have a picnic there. Hudson, Florida. You see how beautiful these roofs look? Beautiful roof, no damage. You see that houseboat sitting there? See all the other boats sitting there? That's a houseboat. Oh, is that a restaurant? I don't know. Mm, mm, mm. Let me tell you, once I was in a storm. It wasn't a hurricane. We was on our boat. Um, we was on our boat. We had docked at an island, not an island where, like in California or Miami, where these beautiful islands, no, not like that. These was islands. The island we docked at was nobody there. The only thing you're gonna find is some wild boars or some wild animals and stuff on that island. A lot of wild boars. Okay, but anyway, I think I can't remember which island, but I can't remember which one. But oh my God, look at that! Sorry. Oh, guys, I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me, Florida, Sarasota, Florida. Okay, I'm going to bring this one back. But I just want you all to see how beautiful everything, the grass, see the beautiful, the storm is going to even rip the grass up off the ground. All them beautiful trees lining the water, they may not be there. The grass may be gone. You see how the water is coming on in up to the pools and the parking lots and the buildings. It's coming further and further in. Oh, and you can see how it's turning. We're going to come back to this. I'm not going to just leave it because this is a live. This is a true live that's going on right now. Okay. It says watching live. It started 3 hours ago. So we're still going to keep this so we can see the difference in what's going on. So I'm not going to get rid of that. I'm just going to cast another live out. Let me cast another live out. Let me get to my other one. Just give me a second. Look at that big, beautiful boat. Now, guys, we had a big boat. Like our boat wasn't beautiful like this. It wasn't big. It was big. You couldn't bring it out of the water. That was the kind of boat you have to leave in the water. You can't drag it behind your big car or your big truck. You can't drag it. You can't even bring it out of the water. I think if you bring it out of the water, you may tear things up. It was like a huge boat like that. It was 50. It's a 50-footer. Yeah, it had multiple levels to it. It had two levels. The third level is basically you being on top of the second level, where you can dance and party and have fun, but you can still pilot the boat, drive the boat from the top level as well. If you're up there partying, having a party and stuff, you can still drive the boat from there. My son got his captain's license at was he 9 years old or 10 years old? We would let him drive the boat, pilot the boat all the time. My husband be doing something else. Uh, my son be driving it out. He behind the wheel of the boat all the time. You in the water, so you out there and you don't see nobody. Ain't nothing for you to hit. But he was good at it. He was good at it. So he helped my husband out a lot of times. I never learned how to pilot a boat, but he did. My son would do it all the time, you know. But I want everybody to see how beautiful it is. We got caught in a storm, but it wasn't a hurricane. I don't know. It was a big storm, and how we got caught because I woke up with the mini blinds hitting the windows on the boat. I was asleep in my cabin room, and the mini blinds was hitting, just rocking, because the boat was rocking. So that woke me up with the mini blinds hitting. It was like 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., like something like that. Pitch dark because you're tied to we dropped anchor and we dropped anchor and had the boat tied to some we dropped anchor. Once we dropped anchor and put down the plank so my son and stuff can go, we tied the boat to some trees on the island. And the island was full of trees. It's a wild island. So we had it tied to some trees and stuff. And we woke up with it hitting. But that's the worst. Let me tell you something. Never, never, never tie your boat to trees while you go to sleep at night. You wake up, everything on your boat. You're going to have a line of ants from whatever on that beach or that island or around that tree or anything. They will find, you can tie to the trees and see no ants on this tree. You tie your line, your rope, is these big giant ropes that you see tied to ships, right? You tie that thing, wrap that thing and tie it up to that. Kid me not. You're gonna wake up in the morning, ants trailing all the way up on your boat. Ain't not the ants that you see in your yard. These are big giant ants, big ants. And then you get all kind of critters crawling up on that rope on your boat. We had what was that? What animals that always would come at night on the boat? Because we was, I think, at that island maybe 2 nights. What was that? Wasn't what was that? Raccoon. I think it was a raccoon or something. A raccoon came up on the boat and on the front of the boat where was tearing up everything. The barbecue grill, everything. He just tore up everything. But ants. And when you got them big ants, you have to only thing you can do is get down, get out. Oh, it's just a mess. You have to wash them off the boat. because you can't spray them. You just wash them off the boat. Just stay away, make sure they don't get on you, keep everybody in, and just they just try to get food because you got a cutting board on your boat where you cut up your fish and stuff. When you get fish, you don't cut them in, clean them in your inside your boat. You have a cutting board on your boat on the near the where on the deck where you cut and you just throw the stuff off into the water like that, or wipe it off into the water, wash it off into the water. But anyway, we got stuck. We had to have the Coast Guard. We could hear everybody talking on the radio about the storm coming in and everything, and trying to warn everybody about it. And my husband and son got on it and was getting information. And they were saying that we need to get out of there. Be careful, everybody. It was a chatter going on. But we got out of there. We pulled anchor and everything, pulled off from the boat, pulled the boat out, and started heading out. Pitch dark, rain. The boat was rocking from the waves was high. I'm the only one on the boat that can't swim. Everybody, my son, my daughter, my kids all could swim, just put it like that. Everybody could swim but me. And I'm not sure that we haven't had a guest, because sometimes we take guests with us. My kids would bring their friends on trips with us. When they, we'd be gone for a week, 2 weeks at a time, a week at a time. But we don't, when we go on our boat, we don't stay, there's no hotels we stay in when we go to the marina to get on our boat. We just stay there on the boat the entire time. So, you don't stay in no hotels when you got a boat. Why stay in a hotel when you got a boat? Don't make any sense. But anyway, we got stuck. We're not stuck. We got lost. We was in the storm so bad. Coast Guard had the marina sent out the Coast Guard or something to come and get us, help locate us and bring us in. And when we got so far in, and then one of the captains, how they get from their boat by jet ski. Somebody got on our boat, and then from our boat and helped us bring us in. Yeah, we've been brought in many times from storms or something, or lost power to our boat. We lost power before on our boat and crashed into a big, brand new big boat. Like the boat you just saw, we crashed into one of those. Yes, we did. At the marina coming in, we lost power. That's when the marina had to come to the rescue again. As Finn's captain had to come to the rescue, come out to meet us, because we told him we lost power and we were drifting. And we was coming into the marina, but we had lost power. We was drifting in. And you don't want a big boat like ours drift. And we they had to come in to bring us in. But before we got all the way in, we hit a big boat. We hit a brand new boat. Big, beautiful boat. I still remember it was blue. It had blue on it. Still remember that boat. Oh, everybody was screaming and hollering, running out there. But crazy Karen running out there, throwing our hands up. Like, woman, you can't stop us from coming in. The boat gonna hit you. But she did. Yes, she did. Think she gonna stop our boat from drip, girl, woman? That's what a Karen would do. Try to stop a big boat. The boat is bigger than her house, probably. Yeah, because we had 2 full bedrooms, and then down the hallways we had how many? Three bunk beds, 3 or 4 bunk beds. I think it was 3, but I want to say 4 because it was on each side, bunk beds along the wall. Hi, Jessie J. Thank you for coming in. We're let me go ahead and cash for the. I'm going to keep this one. Thank you. We've been covering this storm. That's my throat. I need to go get my medicine for my throat. Let me do my next video of the storm. This is live. These are live uh, from. These are live coverage of the storm. This is live coverage of the storm that I'm showing. So let's go ahead and see what's kicking up. Okay. We're going to see what else is kicking up. Here we go, guys. Let me just let this one here. This is another live. I'm trying to let the ad run first. I'm trying to let the ad run first before I show it. There's no sense in showing something with an ad running on it. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, here we go. No, that's the same. Oh, is that the same one? Oh, yeah, that's the same one. Okay, let me get the second one up. Okay, here we go. Okay. Thank you, Jassy, for coming in. We was doing this yesterday. That's my throat. Y'all know it's still acting up. Ever since I got out of the hospital, it acts up from time to time. But I am doing, I don't know why it's acting up. Oh, Lord, just seem like. Okay, here we go, guys. This is live stream events. Oh, the throat is trying to. This information will be down in my subscription box as well, guys. Here it is showing live. You can see it over to the side. I'm gonna. Okay, I just typed in praying for Florida. Yeah, for everybody there. This is a live, so I just typed into it. You see me going across. Let me go ahead and put the unmuted for you all. The information about the live will be down in my description box. Oh, showing 4 different places. They showing Tampa Bay, Florida, the Key West, Fort Myers Beach, and another direction of Fort Myers Beach. So the 2 bottom ones are Fort Myers Beach, but they showing different angles of it, different positions of it, and Tampa, Florida, Tampa Bay, and then the Key West. That's what the other one was showing, different areas. So everybody, and so the positions of the cameras and stuff may change, but it is live. It's not muted. So anytime I can read some of the comments for you all. Let me start reading some of those comments for you. Okay. Let me see. Oh, they're going so fast, the comments. They have good free education. Oh, somebody's talking about that. Bottom of Florida. Key West, somebody said Key West is at the bottom of Florida. We're waiting for it. Pray. It's moving so fast. Chat, slow down. God cannot. Somebody just said, chat, slow down. I mean, it's moving fast. You can't even. What kind of machine do, oh gosh, trees are suffering. Somebody said the trees are suffering. Yes, they are, because they're tall and big and beautiful, and they're going to be down or broken. If they're not down, they're going to be bent over or out of the ground, or they're going to be broken. A lot of trees that's bent over, not bent over, come out of the ground, and that depends on how big that tree is, because we have storms, but not this kind of storm. When our trees come out of the ground, my husband or son, or if we hire somebody, they get out there and after the storm and redig the hole, and they try to put it back in and put all the good nutrients down at the bottom of the root and add a lot of water to it before they cover it up with dirt again, and they stake it, put stakes around the tree, the, and, and hope it. And most of them they survive, but some don't. I'm going to tell you. Storm one man army is in this war. What do that mean? One man's army. Landfall. Sending love. That's I'm reading some of the chat. I hope everyone is okay after this ish. Absolutely not. No matter near, no matter where. Oh, they're going so fast. In 12 hours will be the worst. Somebody saying in 12 hours is going to be the worst. Can't believe Jamaica, something about, can't believe Jamaica something went past. Key West is 90 miles north Cuba. Is it? I didn't know that. Yep, 12 hours. Gonna be brutal. Key West is in Florida. Yes, everybody know Key West is in Florida. Don't pray. Donate your money to aid. Somebody say, don't pray. Donate your money to aid like the people. It hasn't made landfall for those who are saying it isn't bad. No, it haven't made landfall for people that saying it's not bad. It's not bad yet because it's not hit you yet, but it's gonna hit you. The dude, you need to relax, bro. Quit starting ish. Oh, somebody's in the chat starting stuff. This is overrated. No, it's not overrated. When is the worst part expected? When they make landfall, probably. Let me see, because I got it on my TV too. Let me see what they're saying. It says on TV, the dangerous category 4 Milton closing in on Florida. Let me see, can I pull up the news from what I'm watching on TV? Okay, so we can watch. I'm going to try to pull it up what I'm watching on TV. Let me see, what station is this? The weather station. The weather channel. Okay. Okay. This is the weather channel. Okay. Let me see. Guys, I'm getting ready to. The storm is trending, guys. Milton is the trending topic right now. It's trending. I see it right now. Okay, let me see if this is going to work. It said Hurricane Milton to make landfall in Florida tonight with life-threatening storm, surge, winds, and flooding. Guys, let me just say this. This morning, when I woke up this morning, I saw my TV was still on, right? Wait. Let me this is the channel. Oh, sure, it's the channel I'm watching right now. Okay. I'm gonna put this one over to the side because this is a live. We're not gonna get rid of it. I'm just gonna move it to the side so we can listen to what they're saying on the weather channel. Okay. So I'm just gonna push it over to the side. We're not going to get rid of it. Let me just see. Okay, let me just pull it up front so we can cast this one here. Because a lot of people yesterday was stuck in that huge, humongous traffic yesterday trying to get out. Okay, this is the Weather Channel. This is what I'm watching on TV right now, the Weather Channel. My TV is on the Weather Channel every day, every day. When I'm at my computer working or doing a live, I always have it up here. Okay. You see it said Hurricane Milton to make landfall in Florida tonight with life-threatening storm surge, winds, and flooding. Okay. This information also will be down in my it will be down in my, oh Lord, in my description box below the video. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. You see where it said current information, 145 miles per hour winds, category 4, moving northeast at 17 miles per hour. Okay. So here we go, guys. I don't like all these ads. I'm gonna let that ad go by. And once that ad go by, I'll bring it back up, okay? Because I don't want to see the ad. It's almost done. Do anybody have any family members? Tina, did you say last whether you had family member? Here it is. Let me play it.
Just a little in the latest advisory, but it's dangerous.
Here it is. Oh my God. I guess I took it back too far. Okay, but anyway, if anybody got any family members in Florida, any part, it doesn't matter, or you live in Florida, put it in the chat or anything, put it in the chat. And we're going to be praying for everybody there, everybody in Florida.
Have come down just a little in the latest. Sustained winds may have come down just a little in the latest advisory, but its dangers are numerous. There have already been tornadoes, and that is an increasing danger everyone needs to stay aware of. Hurricane Milton will make landfall in Florida late tonight or possibly in the early AM hours of Thursday, but there are so many threats preceding landfall. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings are covering Florida as conditions continue to deteriorate. We are hoping everyone got their preparations done and have followed evacuation orders. Big damaging storm surge is expected along the west central Florida coast. And remember, the ground is already wet. And with more rain from Hurricane Milton, flash flooding is expected. Localized rain totals of 6 to 12 inches expected with up to 18 inches possible. Several tornadoes are likely over parts of central and southern Florida.
Okay. I'm just letting this go past so we can watch the rest of it. They have more ads than anything, I think. Yeah. If you all have family members or friends or people that's close to you, or your loved ones or anyone, put it in the chat. So, and we're gonna send out prayers to everyone in Florida. Yes.
Right now, tropical storm force winds extend more Three things you must know about Hurricane Milton. First off, Milton is a very dangerous major hurricane. It may weaken a little bit before making landfall, but that minor change will not lessen the impacts expected across the state of Florida. Second thing is that Milton's wind field is expected to increase in size, thus impacting more people. Right now, tropical storm force winds extend more than 200 miles in width. The wind field will grow about 100 miles as it moves northeast and approaches Florida. Wind damage will be widespread and power outages are likely. Last thing is that Milton will continue to wobble before making landfall, and storm surge is highly dependent on landfall location. If Milton makes landfall near or just north of Tampa, this is the worst case scenario for the city, as water will rush in and pile up, potentially reaching 10 to 15 feet above the ground. However, if Milton makes landfall south of Tampa, surge will be much lower for the city. It may even result in water being pushed out of the bay with winds blowing in from the northeast.
Okay, guys, I'm letting the next ad go by so we can finish watching. They got a lot of ads, but that's okay. Like I said, do anybody have any family members or anybody that we need to send prayers out to? If so, let me know.
On record will bring destructive winds to Florida late Wednesday into Thursday before moving off the East Coast by Thursday evening. Hurricane force winds in excess of 74 miles per hour will be possible across much of central Florida. Peak wind speeds could exceed 110 miles per hour for areas in pink, which includes Tampa and Fort Myers. The worst of the wind will impact the west coast of Florida late Wednesday night, shifting east, impacting the rest of the state by Thursday morning. Several tornadoes will also be possible Wednesday into Thursday, and a few could be on the stronger side, with the highest risk including places like Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Port St. Lucie.
Okay. Well, guys, only thing we can do, I just pray that everybody that needed to get out, got out, and everybody that need to get their family members out. I know there is one hospital.
Orlando, Daytona Beach, and much of Central Florida. These warnings extend so far inland due to Milton's strength and expanding wind fields. Best chance for hurricane force winds will be from Tampa to Orlando to Melbourne, with tropical storm force winds impacting many others. Latest track shows hurricane force winds arriving early Thursday morning in Orlando. Power outages could be widespread. A few tornadoes will be possible Wednesday into Thursday as Milton's rain bands pivot across the state. Flash flooding and river flooding look likely as a widespread 6 to 12 inches of rain will be possible, with isolated higher totals through Thursday. Highest flood threat will include Orlando and Daytona Beach.
Okay. They're going to bring the second part to us. Yeah, guys, this is just too much. But if you got family and friends, let's send prayers out to everyone that's going to be affected by the storm and everything.
Will bring a life-threatening storm surge to Florida's west coast. Highest surge will be near and just south of where Milton makes landfall and could range anywhere from Tampa down to Fort Myers. Worst case scenarios, water levels reach 10 to 15 feet above the ground. Now, the range is given because surge is enhanced during high tide.
Wait, let me say, she said 10 to 15 feet. 10 to 15 feet above the ground. Wave height forecast. That's over my head. That's over a lot of people's head. A lot of people can't swim like me. My whole family can swim, but I can't swim. I got a pool, but I still can't swim. I've been learning as long as it's been here how to swim. I forget every year. I forgot again. But anyway, this is over a lot of people's head. A lot of people's not going to make it through this. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, if you got kids, more than one, several kids, you can't pick them all up. Maybe you can have the oldest one on your back while you got the smallest one. You know how you can have the smallest one in the carrier on your front, in your front chest, strapped to you. That's hard. What if you got more than one pet, more than one dog? Well, dogs can swim, but not all of them is gonna swim. I got 2 dogs can swim, but they ain't gonna swim unless they know that's the only way they're gonna survive. That they'll swim, but they don't want to swim. But they wouldn't even save me. I was pretending like I was drowning in my own pool, and they would not. Bella, my husky, would not save me, nor Coda. Bella just looked at me, turned her head, and kept doing what she was doing, and I could have not been here. So I don't know. A hospital this morning, as I was saying earlier, was putting up. And when I woke up this morning, my TV was still on, and I turned the volume up, right? Sound up. They was putting this big 10-foot tall thing around this hospital to try to protect it from this water surge and stuff. And I was telling my husband about it, and he said if it's over 10 feet tall, it's just going to, or the winds may just push it over. And I said they praying and hoping that this is going to protect the hospital because they have so many patients in the hospital that God knows cannot leave or cannot be evacuated. It's too many people. That was a big hospital. It's somewhere in Florida. I didn't see the name, but they was doing that. But I was getting out of the bed, so let me finish playing what she's saying.
Right now, it looks like peak surge will occur a few hours before high tide, so water levels could be on the upper end of that range. Keep in mind, a 10 to 15-foot surge means a one-story home or building would be submerged. You cannot survive that. Conditions will continue to go downhill Wednesday as the outer rain bands move across the state. At least the storm moves quickly and will push off the east coast of Florida by Thursday evening. Flash flooding is likely as a widespread 6 to 12 inches of rain will be possible with isolated higher totals. Highest flood threat stretches from Daytona Beach to Orlando down to Tampa.
Hey guys, let me ask you this question while this ad is going past. I have a question. Do that means she said it's not survivable?
Category 5
Okay.
hurricane.
She said it's not survivable. That's sticking out in my head a lot. So if that surge is not survivable, I know I won't survive. I'm just letting you know. I think it's time. I think it's been time to get out. Been time to get out. Yes, I really do. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you all still hit that like button for me. It's been time to get out. If you're not out already, you need to get out. But I don't know, can you get out? I don't live in Florida. Only time I lived in Florida maybe about 6 months. About 6 months, and that's it. And I was ready to leave, and I left. Oh yeah, I lived there for about 6 months. Sister was there, everybody was there, but not me. But anyway, that's too much. It's too much for me. Too much. I can't take it. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Okay, let's go and finish seeing what she's saying. She's keeping us updated. Okay, let me, oh,
A dangerous Category 5 Hurricane Milton is heading toward Tampa Bay and will likely make landfall as a major hurricane late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Tropical storm force winds could arrive as early as Wednesday afternoon, and hurricane
today, guys.
force winds will start impacting the city late Wednesday night. Time
That's
is running
today.
out, so if you are ordered to evacuate, please do so ASAP. A life-threatening storm surge of 10 to 15 feet will be possible for Tampa Bay if peak surge coincides with high tide. A few tornadoes may develop Wednesday and Thursday as the outer rain bands move in, so make sure you have a way to get warnings if issued. Highest rain totals will vary widely depending on landfall location. However, flash flooding and river flooding look likely for many.
I don't think people can get out now just by listening and watching what she was saying. I think trying to get out is over. I think if you're still there, you need to hunker down now. Just hunker down and be ready.
Models really mean.
Oh, don't tell me I got to go back through this ad. I got to go back through this ad again. Okay, but anyway, I think it's just time for, if you're still there, just hunker yourself down. Make sure you got all your water. And if you don't, I don't know.
Spaghetti models really mean. Spaghetti models are a forecasting tool that helps give a visual of possible tracks. Each plot represents a different forecast model of a storm's expected path. When put side by side, you can see how the predictions compare, and you can see that there are many different models based on various kinds of data. While they are extremely helpful, they do not show where impacts will occur.
We're gonna take a look, but we're not gonna get rid of it. We're just going to take a look at, let me pause it. Yeah, it is paused. We're going to take a look at, he is trending. Let's see why is he. Well, let's see why Jim is trending. Jim is trending, guys. Let me see, okay. Jim here, he's trending. I want to see why. We can ready to see why he's trending. He's trending about the storm. Okay. Cantor. Report live as Milton approached Florida. Did I pronounce his last name right? Cantor.
From Pasco County all the way down to Fort Myers Beach. I hope you have left. If you're watching us this morning, I strongly urge you to do so. All right, because things are shutting down and you're not going to have a lot of options left. Friends or family, if you just get out of the surge zone, that's good enough. But if you want to get out of the state, that's
behind him on somebody's street.
Either way, Steph, new advisories in. It's coming down
that's
a little
water.
bit.
That's
potentially
water.
Going through what we call an eye wall replacement cycle. This is what happens with the stronger hurricanes. There's no telling how long it lasts or what will come out of it at the other end, but we certainly think going on in time, we will have a larger wind field and a larger hurricane wind field at that to come into the west coast of Florida tonight.
Growing up in Texas, it's all about hair.
Okay. We're going to let the woman in her hair go past. Okay. I guess if depends on where you are in Florida, you can still get out. Depends on where. It depends on where you are.
Got batteries. 4, 5 gallon cans.
This is a
we can
family.
leave, but you're looking at the interstate. By the time you find a place, it's no place. You can't go to Georgia, you can't go to Carolina, so you got to go west toward Pensacola, Panama City. I'm pretty sure all that's booked to Mobile, Alabama. This far in, it can happen, but I haven't seen after all these 3 or 4 hurricanes, but I know this one's coming direct at us. So we got the truck to kind of jump in and head towards 75 if we have to.
Revolutionary technology.
Okay, he's staying, but they made preparations. They did preparations and stuff, but that family is staying. I just pray for them because he's an older man, but he got his young family. Look, maybe what is that, son or grandson or whoever, and other family, and there's other people that
Evacuate my dad off the beach, taking an old antique.
I'm gonna go back so we can hear what he's saying. You're in Clearwater.
We're very scared.
Beach.
We don't know what to expect, and we don't know when to come back home. Like that's the hard part. What's next, and how much damage we're gonna have.
Seems like they just got through with damage.
Coming down here to help evacuate my dad off the beach, taking old antique furniture, put it to higher ground, take some old photos of my family. And my mom passed away a couple of years back before the pandemic, and taking some family possessions and bring them to higher ground.
Okay.
AI can pay.
This is sad, guys. Not everybody can leave. Then when you do leave, what are you coming back home to? When you leave, I know everything is going to be on your mind. What happened to my home while you're gone? How's my house surviving? Whether I'm going to come back to anything. These are hurricane hunters.
Can you grab my phone real quick? Yeah. Well.
Okay, now they're going to show the last minute hurricane evacuees trying to get out. Okay, this is the last minute of the Hurricane Milton evacuees jammed on the freeway. This is today, October the 9th, 2024, guys. This is today. I don't know why it stopped. Let me just, hundreds of cars jammed Alligator Alley. Oh my God. People was talking about that last night, alligators. Alligator Alley, I-75 in Southwest Florida on Tuesday as people raced to evacuate from Hurricane Milton, potential deadly. Evacuees are ordered. Or people across Florida to finish preparing and evacuate by the end of, guys.
One of the biggest.
This is real. Y'all know that? This is real. This is no planned matter at all.
Debris from the last storm surge event, and that will be factored into the mix. So not only do you have waves and high water with that peak surge, but now you've got stuff sloshing around in that, also banging against homes and adding new debris to that. I mean, it's really mind-boggling when you think about it. It really is. So know your zone, guys. If you're asked to evacuate, please do. I can't stress that enough. Get the heck out of this water. Do not play with it. It's going to come in fast, and it's going to be high, and it's going to be in the middle of the night.
Okay, guys. Y'all heard that? It said, do not play with this water. Do not play with this water. It's going to come in fast. This is when evacuation orders are issued. The decision to stay or leave may seem obvious, but for many people, it can be a tough choice for a variety of reasons. Watch this video to learn why one Tampa area resident plans to stay. And ride out the Hurricane Milton while another is ready to evacuate. They're
We
moving out.
built our house new about 20 years ago, so we know the construction, it's concrete block, that we'd rather be in a safe environment and maybe be without power and water than to be in jeopardy in a structure that's not as sound.
Our house was under 4 to 5 feet of water. We lost all our cars, all our furniture. The first floor was completely destroyed, needs repairs, the pool, the dock, all of that stuff. I'm still really scared and have nightmares from the last storm. So I really think we're going to evacuate.
They have to move the beach furniture. And the reason, because those things are used as projectiles. You leave that beach furniture there, that furniture could be flying into homes, cars, people. Oh. Tampa Zoo moves animal to safety before Milton. This is October the 9th of 2024. Everything got to move. All the animals got to go.
We hope that the animals have very minimal stress, and that's always our goal. So a lot of these animals are used to these night houses. They go in every single day. They're very comfortable in them. So for them, it doesn't seem any different.
Elephants got to move. The big elephants, guys, they have to move and go. Helena hit area. People pre-prepared for Hurricane Milton. These are residents of Florida's Gulf Coast have hardly had time to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Helena deadly landfall. Now they got Milton's packing. Is packing similar threat for the same area. See all this? They haven't even gotten that stuff out of the way. Look, and they're getting ready to get hit by another
bigger issue this time for us to deal with is going to be the wind, that's going to be coming through, given its closeness to us and directness of this. And as you can look around us, we've got a lot of people that put a lot of stuff on their front yards, and all this stuff is just wind fodder that's going to just be blowing down the street and hitting who knows what.
We're just trying to clean up the debris out of the salon. We lost our business. Our 15 employees lost their jobs. So we're going to try to put some tarp over the debris, just putting everything up, whatever was not flooded, trying to put everything above 4 or 5 feet.
Oh my God.
So yeah, just getting ready.
I like watching this weather channel because it's showing everybody. It's showing every parts of it. Helen's debris could become deadly missiles in Milton. There's a new concern for millions of people along Florida Gulf Coast who's facing Hurricane Milton. And I know what that is. That's the debris. Oh my God. That's not. Who will get freaked out? Oh my God. This is a lot, guys. Milton in the danger of Helena's debris. As Hurricane Milton approaches the Florida coast, there are still piles of debris from Hurricane Helena. The Weather Channel Jim Couture tells you how Milton could turn it all into projectiles. I hope I pronounced his last name correctly.
The problem is complicated by Helene's debris.
Helene.
Lots and lots of debris in many, many yards here, unfortunately. And a lot of this, whether it be maximizing the storm surge, which could be double, by the way, than what we had with Helene, which was already record-setting, and get winds that could be 100 miles an hour, you're going to be blowing this around and floating it around. Even if the storm goes to our south, we could still get over 100-mile-an-hour winds. And that means that all this becomes projectiles. So this is not going to be good, and it's going to be impossible to navigate through it. Whether you're in the surge or you're trying to get out with a vehicle, it is just going to be a horrible situation regardless, because a lot of this is going to be blowing around.
Okay, guys, like I'm saying, survivors of Helene's floods and mudslides built a high school football stadium in Hendersonville, North Carolina on Sunday. Not only did they come together for a church service, but also to express their gratitude. I guess this
There's
is
been a lot of tears. I've been crying a lot. Sometimes it's just absolute gratitude over the overwhelming support from the community and complete strangers. And then sometimes it's I'm crying over I can't find a hairbrush.
How many of y'all are still trying to switch on the lights even though you don't have power? I've been doing it every single day.
Guys, there's one place that I do want to say that we need to not forget, and I think it's called Asheville. I'm gonna have to find it. Is it either Asheville? Let me see. Can I find that place when the next video comes up?
Y'all be safe. There you go.
I'm not sure what happened here. It just stopped. Just paused. It just paused, guys. Okay. There's Volunteers National Guard team up after Helene. A warehouse that sat empty in Flat Rock, North Carolina, is now filling up with supply donated by people and organizations nationwide in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
Well, we have the resources and the ability, and it's good to help people if we're able to. So we just packed up the truck with what we had and made the 10-hour trip south.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna listen to this last one and then, okay, we're gonna listen. We're gonna put this one on pause, okay, and we're gonna go back and see what's happening at the other ones that we was broadcasting live from. We're gonna check back on all of them and see. And then we're gonna let me get back to the other ones that we was broadcasting live from. All right. Now, let me just ask again, do anybody have people that are living in Florida, like family, friends, loved ones, or someone that's close to you? Do you have anybody that lives there? I know this is not a bashing live where I'm bashing, where I'm going in on someone. This is a lie that I'm covering everyday people today, things that's going on today outside of the reality shows. But I haven't forgotten about them. Kid me not. I still have some information that I'm going to drop. That new information. And when I say new information, because nobody got it. I know nobody got it. I just found it yesterday. Now, I wouldn't say I just found it. I had it, but I never knew it was there. Had it for a long, long time, but didn't even know it was there. Yeah. But I'll do that later. Okay. I know when I cover real life stuff, like stuff that's going on with my real life stuff, like people that everyday people, like people that you see in your chat, people that are your members and subscribers, and people that live next door to you, or around the corner, or in the cul-de-sac, or friends that you may know. I ain't talking about the celebrity friends. I ain't talking about the reality stars or the rappers and everything. And I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people just like you, people just like me. And it's not dirty enough. It's not messy enough, but that's okay. I can cover the mess, but I ain't covering it right now because I'm covering something much more important right now. I'm covering what's going on in our people's lives right now. And some of the celebrities are going to be affected by the storm too. Don't forget now, because a lot of them live in Florida. Yeah. So they may, or in Atlanta, or in other places, in Georgia, this and that. Yeah. Ooh, this live is moving like crazy. God bless the broadcasters. Yes, that's somebody just put in the chat. God bless the broadcasters. They need to, because they be putting their lives on the line to bring us the stories, to bring us this information. Like I'm doing right now. I'm putting this information out, and I may not get any likes from it, or I may not get no subscribers from it. I barely get anybody to click the like button. But only thing that does is when I don't get any likes from it, let me tell you exactly what that does. It makes YouTube think nobody want to watch my content. And so it knocks me out of the algorithm when I go to something like this. Not to say I don't be in the algorithm. I stay in the algorithm, but I have to beg you all to hit the like button to keep me there. And I shouldn't have to do that. I'm eating my breakfast, the leftover breakfast that was sitting here, so I'm eating it. But regardless, and then when I go and do the lives on these crazy folks, I get all the likes, but then I still have to beg for them. So I don't know. I get all the likes and everything, but let me just tell you, I still have to beg for them. And because I only got 2 people watching on my biggest channel, which is Pinkie the Housewife. I only got 2 people watching, but that's okay. I know it's a lot of stuff going on the Love and Marriage Huntsville and everything else, in New York, and then in LA and stuff. I'm going to cover them today, but right now I'm covering this. This is important to me. Okay, okay, we already see what's going on with this channel. Oh, let me just do something right quick. Okay, let me just do one thing. Okay, we're gonna we see what's going on. You can see what the weather is like. This is still live streaming right now. This is a live chat, so you can see exactly. Oh, the weather and picked up. Let me just say, it's a little different in Key West, Florida. We was watching an hour ago when I first came on, an hour ago. Okay, this is Tampa Bay, Florida. Over to your left, then you got Key West. It's the one to the right where the water is raging. That was not like that in Key West. Remember, it wasn't up to the fence or the pools or it was down on the beach, but it was making its way up. It didn't change. Okay, now then we got Fort Myers Beach on the left. Fort Myers Beach is both of them at the bottom. The two pictures at the bottom, that's Fort Myers Beach. One is on the beach and one is facing, I don't know about that. Maybe that's a hotel, or I don't know. But people that live in Florida, they know what it is. So this is live screen here. And are those cats or people out there up on Key West, Florida? They are out there getting hit by the water, playing around, oh my God. People are play around. Take a big gush of water come and get them and take them down, then they'll be screaming. They'll be screaming and crying and everything. Let's see what's going on the other live. So I'm going to remove this one. And show the next one. And then we're gonna hear what hear what they're saying. I'm gonna do it so we can hear what they're saying next. Break out into the live news. But these are cameras that set up around the cities and the towns in Florida, letting you know. It still looks kind of, no, it was earlier, an hour ago, this was much peaceful. It looked better. That is, let me see, it's getting closer in. Now I'm getting ready to see. Yes, it is. Guys, it's getting there. It's getting closer in. Okay. Let me go ahead. That's that beautiful boat. That big, beautiful boat. Let me see what else is going on with Hurricane Milton. That is strange. The video that I just got through showing, the one that had Tampa Bay, Key West, and Fort Myers, somebody just got through talking on that video, and I just had to mute it. It wasn't muted at first because nobody was, no audio, right? And somebody just got through talking, saying, letting us know, I think they had to go. They got the dogs or something, and they're getting ready to go. Okay. So I guess they got to go too. They got to go too. Let me just do this. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. Okay. Let me go ahead and see what else is going on. 17 minutes ago, ABC News just started their new live 17 minutes ago. Let me just, but before I do that, let me do this. Did the category of the storm just change? Let me see. I'm trying to see how the storm changed to a 5. Because wait now. Because remember, it had dropped back down. It had dropped down this morning when I woke up. It dropped down to a 4. Okay. I'm trying to see, did it go back? Oh my God. I think it went back up to a 5, guys. I think the storm and went back up to a category 5. I'm trying to verify. Let me put my glasses on so I can look over at my TV while I'm trying to verify. Black women in the building, thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for being here. We're covering live coverage of Hurricane Milton. I tend to love to cover the hurricanes. But Hurricane Milton is live, and we're doing live coverage. But I think it have went back up. That's what I'm checking. I see first now. I just see 2 major outlets got it as a 5 again. Let me just check. Yeah, wait now. Somebody's still doing it live as a 4. Another outlet. When I say major outlet, I look at the WPLG, KNOU, Channel 11, ABC, CNN, MSNBC. I look at the major outlets, CNBC, TV18, Chicago News. I check with all the major outlets when I do live screening of natural disasters or hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunami, earthquakes, and all that. I go with. I check. I don't just follow one. I have to look and see what all the major outlets putting it at, and then I do a little more research on them to make sure. But seems like it's picking up, and if it's picking up again, let me just see. Oh, I'm trying to see which one we're gonna do. Okay, let me see how long they've been live. I'm getting ready to switch over to one of the other major outlets right now. We're getting ready to switch over, guys. Okay, it's about time to be switching. Someone just said Cat 5. Cat 5 is confirmed. Okay, so Cat 5 is confirmed. Okay, so let me see. I'm trying to see before I go over, see which one we're going to do. Because a lot of people don't have their TVs. Some people don't have their TVs because the TVs got taken out by the last storm. Helene. They got Hurricane Helene. So they don't have, well, they can just watch this live. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one here. And we're getting ready to go with the CNN News 18. They're live. So we're getting ready to go and see what's going on with let me bring it up. Bring it closer in. Here we go, guys. It's picking up a rocket. It's a rocket of a storm. It's a big, for anybody that got loved ones that's going to be affected by the storm, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you want to, let me unmute it right quick. This has been going live for over 6 hours. A lot of the major outlets stay live. They don't just stop and go off and come back later. They stay live. Live from downtown Tampa, Florida. This downtown Tampa. Ooh. And this information is going to be down in my description box below the video, guys. If you want to go back to it, you can. This is Milton Hurricane Live Cam in Florida, Tampa, to be exact. You can see what it's looking like. It's looking like a bad storm right now. But that's getting ready to change in a little bit. Make sure y'all hit that like button coming in. Oh, somebody's trying to wipe it off. Make it clean so we can see. This is a live coverage. You can see people are coming in from all over the world. As you can see the different in the language that's being typed in. You can see the different languages. Not everything is in English. That's what I'm saying. So people are watching this from all over the world, and because they're watching it from all over the world, and so are we. This is 4,809 people watching it live right now. And you can see that it's a live stream. Let me pull down so you can see right here, guys. Over to your right, you can see that this is live. Okay, so that's happening. And let me this storm is going to affect a lot of people. A lot of people are still without anything. They're still without water. They're still without lights. They are still cleaning up from the previous storm. Okay, there's a press conference going on right now, and I'm going to leave this so we can just get out of this one right quick so we can go with this live press conference. Okay, let me mute this right quick. Give me 1 second, guys. This is a press conference live, so I'm going to go ahead and cast to this press conference.
For updates on that 1-800 number. That number is 1-800-729-3413. Again, that's 1-800-729-3413.
This is a live press conference.
We also partner with Uber, and you can call them and put in the discount code of Milton Relief. That's Milton Relief, and that'll be a free ride to the shelter. If you don't live in an evacuation zone and decide to shelter in place, make sure you have enough supplies to weather the storm and after the storm conditions cease. We recommend you have 7 days of supplies on hand. Power outages are expected with this storm. Charge your electronic devices now before the power starts to go out. If anybody's looked at a radar in the last 8 hours, you see a lot of rain heading into the impact area. You see tornado warnings. I think as of our 7:15 briefing with my executive staff, we had 7 tornado warnings. And as we were walking in here, I saw 2 more. So there's been roughly 10 tornado warnings. Power will start going out. So you need to make sure your electronic devices are charged now. If you can get outside and it's safe to do so, make sure you're bringing out all that furniture, potted plants, decorations. If you can pick it up, put it up. The strong winds can obviously pick that stuff up and deposit it much somewhere else. During the storm, we want to start messaging this. We do it every single time. But again, if you've decided to shelter in place and during the storm, you hear this tree snapping, maybe the power popping, that can mean that there is flying debris and you should seek shelter immediately inside your home. Treat it as if it's a tornado. Get into the innermost portion of your home. If you have some type of lightweight mattress, pull it over the top of you. Protect yourself from falling debris. Treat it as just as if it's a tornado. If you find yourself all of a sudden, it is absolute calm. You've gone from snapping trees and power lines and the sound of destruction to absolute nothing, like it's a clear day in the middle of the summer, you're in the eye wall of the hurricane, and you need to stay in place. Do not go outside. Do not look around. This eye wall has been moving anywhere from about 4 nautical miles to upwards of 12 to 16 nautical miles. If it reforms the eye wall and starts to collapse again, you may have only minutes in a situation that could be life-threatening. So please make sure you do not go outside if that happens. For more updates in your area, remember to follow your local county emergency management agency's instructions. The agency also has activated the State Assistance Information Line to provide information to Floridians to receive up-to-date information from us. Residents and visitors can call this toll-free hotline at 1-800-342-3557, 1-800-342-3557. Before I close, in anticipation of some of your questions, you may ask, what are the things that we're going to be doing over the next 12 to 24 hours while landfall is happening? The things that we're going to be doing, the Florida State Emergency Response Team with all of its agencies have been working contingency plans. Over a week ago, I set out for our planners to work 3 different contingencies. And that was something that hit the Helene area, something that hit the Tampa Bay area, something that would hit the Fort Myers area, and then even drill down further into that. So in the next 12 to 24 hours, our staff will be moving from a strategic contingency-based plan to tactical operations-based movements. They will pull off the shelf what that strategy was at the time and move directly into tactical operations. We will start working on our damage prediction models. We do have damage prediction models that come from the United States Army Corps of Engineers and other federal agencies. That system is called HAZUS. Our planners, our intelligence cell will start looking at those things to see where the most debris, where the most damage is going to be based on the last calculated movement at landfall. So we will then start marshaling resources from the north and the south with all of the agencies behind me and all the agencies that are out there on the floor right now, to include local county assets and out-of-state mutual aid assets, to move from north or south into those impacted areas, surging more resources where we anticipate having the most damage based on those models. You can always follow us at X and Instagram at FLSERT and on Facebook at FDEM. You can get latest updates also at floridadisaster.org/updates. Governor, again, it makes it very easy for us to do our job and be successful at our job when you have a man standing behind me that's willing to pull the trigger at 96 hours out. All of us can be very successful. And I think this is one thing I just want to point out, because the governor's not going to toot his own horn on this, but I will. General Haas not only is a good friend, but he's one of the best in the business at doing what he's doing. But he can only move as fast as he can call up his soldiers. That takes 72 hours to do that. When the governor gives us 96, the last 3 storms we have marshaled the full depth and breadth of the Florida National Guard before landfall. And that never happened before this governor took office. Governor, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Governor, for your leadership, and good morning. I want to reemphasize at FDOT, we are committed, we are determined, and we are resolute, and we are ready to respond to this storm. We took the governor's direction very seriously with the debris mission. Remove as much debris as humanly possible in the barrier islands before Hurricane Milton makes landfall. We mobilized every available state asset along with some of our contractors and have been working around the clock. I want to say thank you to our dedicated FDOT team members down in the Tampa and Southwest Florida regions. They have been working around the clock. Also want to say thank you to the men and women of the Florida National Guard.
At Shields, we're anglers, endlessly seeking and refining techniques. We're hunters and storytellers, because we've been out there. We're experts that put products and gear to the test, so we can share that knowledge with you. At Shields, we understand your outdoor journey and the path you're on, because we walk it too, every step of the way.
Islands, which is going to have a tremendous impact on safety as Hurricane Milton makes the landfall. So I want to say thank you to the governor for bringing the vision and the direction to do something of such a great feat. With evacuations, we did notice very heavy traffic on I-75 and I-4. going north to Orlando and up to I-10 over the last few days. We did use emergency shoulder use. It did help to resolve that traffic. And we have continued to have both the Florida Highway Patrol and our Road Ranger Service Patrol circulating those corridors to offer motorist aid. We did see very heavy congestion on Alligator Alley yesterday. We also implemented emergency shoulder use there. Traffic began to resolve around 11 p.m. last night, and we were glad that people chose to leave, seeing where they lived, and were evacuating to get to safety. We will be deactivating emergency shoulder use at noon today. We have to begin to demobilize the signs and the people because conditions will begin deteriorating very quickly. We are monitoring all of our coastal bridges and causeways and low-lying roads in Southwest Florida and in the Tampa region. Conditions are going to deteriorate quickly. We expect bridges and causeways to begin closing early to mid-afternoon today. This is very important. You heard the governor. The window of time is closing to get to safety in a shelter. When winds get high and water gets high and begins to make those bridges and roads unsafe, we do work with the Florida Highway Patrol. We have to close those. Bridges like the Skyway or the Courtney Campbell Causeway, et cetera, in Tampa region, we do expect those to start closing early to mid-afternoon. That's something you need to keep in mind if you still have to evacuate. As you heard from the governor, we've pre-staged our assets, our bridge inspectors, our team members, our heavy equipment. We do plan to have all of our resources and heavy equipment and contractors staged north and south of the cone. We will be pushing in with full force behind Hurricane Milton as it makes landfall to clear roads, inspect bridges, assess damage, and begin repairs as quickly as we possibly can. Every minute that a road or a bridge is down after a storm comes through can hinder the life safety mission. We take it very seriously. Any damage that we see and find, we will work as quickly and as efficiently as we can to begin those repairs immediately. The seaports on the West Coast, we've been in very close coordination with them. Port Tampa Bay, Port Manatee, both are important for fuel. If the storm surge is consistent with what's predicted, there could be significant issues with both of those two seaports. So we've been coordinating very closely with Division of Emergency Management and looking at making sure we still have fuel moving throughout the state. I want to remind everybody, FL511.com is the place to get traffic information. We have 10 traffic management centers across the entire state. They work 24/7. They will be working throughout the storm. We will be updating FL511.com live throughout this event. The storm surge expected from this hurricane can cause damage to road and bridge infrastructure. This is why our crews are some of the first boots on the ground to assess and inspect. One thing important to remember, there can be damaged facilities. There is going to be high water. Please do not get out and drive around until we have had the opportunity to inspect bridges and roads. Even after the storm passes through, there will be roads underwater. Please do not drive through water. It's inevitable. Every storm season, people choose to drive through water. You have no idea what's going on underneath that water. It can be very dangerous. Please give us time to do our job. Make sure roads are safe before you start driving around. Again, FL511.com, and thank you, Governor, for your leadership.
Mark? Yes, sir. Good morning. Under Governor DeSantis' leadership, Florida is a law and order state. And FDLE will work with our partners at all times to ensure that it stays that way. As a commissioner, I've been in contact with the Florida sheriffs in the impacted areas, everything from Jefferson County all the way down to Key West, to ensure that their needs are met and supported. We've also worked hand in hand with the Florida Police Chiefs Association, the Florida Sheriff's Association, to ensure if they have any pre-storm needs or even post-storm recovery efforts that we're there for them. I can safely say that the Florida Police Chief Association already has the South Florida Police officers come together for about 80 members that are going to be poised ready to come in to the impact area to support as needed. The Florida Sheriff's Association has strike teams available and ready to move in as needed to support. Now, FDLE is directing the deployment of additional 500 officers that are coming in from out of state. We already have 150 that has been notified and alerted and en route to the area. So tomorrow, after the storm passes, You may see law enforcement entities from other agencies from out of state that will be coming in to support, whether they be as special deputies under the sheriff or state officers that will support local law enforcement or state efforts. If you see them, they are going to be law enforcement authority and have powers as such. So I just want to make sure our people understand that. Florida will not stand for looting. Will not stand for it. We will come after you. And we're not going to stop if anyone takes advantage of any of our citizens or visitors in this time of need. So pay attention to that. If you have anybody or anything that you may see that's going wrong, contact your local law enforcement. We're there to support them, and we will be there on top to take care of that. Now, FDLE special agents and law enforcement analysts have been steadfast all the way through Hurricane Helena, and also will continue on past Hurricane Milton to give you that great support. Our mutual aid team at FDLE has already been managing numerous law enforcement missions, and such as identifying post-storm response squads, establishing base camps for first responders, and conducting security missions. Now, in addition, FDLE has nearly 200 analysts that are on standby for reunification efforts for Florida, law enforcement officers and offices for sheriffs and police departments to help you if you're missing your loved ones. We're here to help and try to find them. FDLE
Fair has helped us find products that align with our taste and values. Our store is unique because we're selling bright and colorful.
A sworn training unit about stuff that's happening at their house. Now, FDLE law enforcement strike teams are coming from Pensacola and Miami into the area. These strike teams will be able to do everything from violent crime investigations to patrol operation and security details. FDLE special agents are activated, all of them are activated to deploy in the impact area as needed. Now, in any type of event, comms is one of the biggest issues. And FDLE communications strike team is already at the ready, working with ESF2 here at the Florida State EOC to ensure that agencies that lose their 911 communication, internet or radio communications, we're there to help them and get them back up and operational as fast as possible. In addition, our FDLE aviation assets are also pre-positioned to conduct overwatch missions for patrol officers and sheriff's offices and departments as needed on request. And I'll echo what Kevin said. Because of Governor DeSantis, we are ready. And thank you again, sir, for your support. Florida cannot be in better hands.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, fellow Floridians. It is an honor to, on behalf of Florida Highway Patrol, to serve Governor DeSantis and his administration and also serve the great people of the state of Florida. Just a brief update on our operations at the Florida Highway Patrol. We have pre-staged high water rescue vehicles in preparation for landfall. FHP is conducting proactive patrols of evacuated communities to suppress criminal activity. As the governor spoke about, we have been laser focused on ensuring that our roadways are open so that we can conduct escorts of fuel trucks to gas stations that are in need of fuel, as we are still doing those missions in this moment. But as the ports on the land side close down for the hurricane, we are still engaged in transports of ambulances, ambulance companies, first responders, and other elements that need to be where they need to be at a certain time before landfall is made by the hurricane. If you are an ambulance company or if you are a healthcare facility that needs the services of the Florida Highway Patrol for the purposes of getting through congested areas, we would encourage you to dial star FHP, and we will make our best efforts to make sure that you get where you need to go in due time. We are currently also supporting the Department of Juvenile Justice by evacuating juveniles in secure residence facilities. And we are helping to relocate military families from the affected areas. We continue to provide law enforcement services in conjunction with our partners at FDLE to areas in the state that were affected by Hurricane Helene, specifically Keaton Beach, Steinhatchee, and Deacle Beach. As of today, all FHP troops and all 2,000 state troopers are activated on an Alpha Bravo shift, and that includes an additional 300 auxiliary state troopers. We are all in full force, 24/7 from here on out. Now, I want to talk briefly about After the storm passes and makes landfall, and then we come in behind, you're going to see a lot of first responder personnel. You're going to see law enforcement. You're going to see the National Guard. You're going to see the State Guard, out-of-state law enforcement officers. At the direction of Governor DeSantis, we have 500 out-of-state law enforcement officers that are going to complement and supplement our response. And we appreciate FDLE's leadership on that. You're going to see DOT personnel. As far as law enforcement goes, obviously we're going to be focused on search and rescue initially. We're going to be focused on getting roadways back open so that we can amplify our search and rescue efforts. But if you are in need and there's no electricity, for example, or your phone doesn't work, feel free to interact one-on-one with law enforcement officers. We are here to help you in that moment of need. The governor talked a little bit yesterday about in the state of Florida, law and order state, Second Amendment state, you don't know what's behind that door. And I'm speaking directly to the criminal element that intend to take advantage of Floridians. The governor is right. You don't know who is behind that door, and they're probably armed. But if you find yourself in a situation where there's nobody in that home and you intend to burglarize it and take advantage of Floridians, there's going to be consequences. And I'll start with, first of all, you're going to have the Florida Highway Patrol, 2,000 state troopers. You're going to have FDLE. You're going to have out-of-county sheriffs. And now we're going to have out-of-state troopers. There's going to be a swarm of law enforcement officers. And I can tell you, on behalf of the Florida Highway Patrol, if we catch you and you try to escape, we're going to chase you. We're going to use intentional contact to stop the pursuit. We're not going to allow you to injure or kill Floridians because of your criminal activity. We're going to hold you accountable and get you in custody. FWC will be deployed. They will catch you in the water. We'll catch you on land. You have the National Guard and the State Guard. They'll catch you in the air. There's no escape from the resources of the state of Florida. The governor has announced in prior months, and we have celebrated a 50-year crime low in the state of Florida. I can promise you, after this storm, there is going to be a new record set, because the state of Florida is not going to give you an opportunity to take advantage of Floridians. And then my final comment would be that we at the Florida Highway Patrol, and I know I speak for all the professionals that are standing behind me and the governor as well, is that we are cognizant of the weight of this moment for the state of Florida. We are cognizant of the weight of your safety and your concern as Floridians, and we are cognizant of our duty as representatives of the government and as law enforcement officers and first responders. And we intend to meet this moment, and we intend to honor our duty. And so it is an honor to be a part of this team, to serve the state that I love, to serve the best governor in the state of Florida, and ultimately the people of Florida. Thank you, Governor.
So we're bracing. Well, we know we're going to get hit later tonight or early tomorrow morning. It is going to bring a lot of ferocity. It's going to bring a lot of hazards, a lot of damage. You still have time to make the decision to ensure your safety.
You won't find confidence on any list of SUV features, but there is one brand that has.
You do not have to get on the interstate and drive to Georgia. You don't have to drive to Pensacola. You can go to a local shelter, which would be likely tens of miles away. We also have now these state shelters. There's massive, massive amounts of room in all of those shelters. You ride it out for a night. The storm's likely going to be gone on the east coast of Florida by tomorrow afternoon. You're going to obviously have first responders and everyone on the scene immediately and doing what they can. But you're going to be able to get back. You're going to be able to resume your life. But just make sure that you're putting yourself in a situation where you can safely weather this storm. So you still have time. Time is running out. But if you make that decision now, I think you'll be glad you did. Yep.
A lot of people are choosing to stay in Sarasota, Charlotte County. What's your message to those people that are choosing to stay in their homes?
Well, if you're not in an evacuation zone, I would imagine, because there's a lot of population in some of those areas, like Kevin said, if you're going to hunker down like that, you're basically going to be, if you're not in a flood, you're basically going to be concerned about the wind. And this is a strong storm. So if you start to hear popping, if you start to hear trees snapping, you got to treat that like a tornado, and you got to hunker down because you're going to have debris, you're going to have trees, you're going to have things that could potentially fly around and cause a threat to your life. Now, if you are in an evacuation zone and you're in places like Sarasota or Charlotte, just know that if you get 10 feet of storm surge, you can't just hunker down with that. That is ultimately the surge. Mother Nature is going to win that fight. So I think it's hazardous to be staying, particularly on those barrier islands in Sarasota County, particularly on the barrier islands and other parts of coastal Charlotte County. And so if you're in an evacuation zone, you can just get up, go to one of the many shelters that are available. Maybe you have friends and family close by. Maybe you want to get on the interstate. I would say that's going to be a little dicey, but some people will want to do that. So you still have time to do it. But and we don't know, look, this track of this storm, where it hits, and is it landfall going to be at Sarasota? Is it going to be further north, further south? Just understand, if you're on the southern part of this storm, you are going to get storm surge. So maybe it doesn't hit Charlotte County, maybe it hits Sarasota. Man, you're going to get a lot of storm surge further down south. That's just the reality. I mean, it's churning massive amounts of water, and that water is going to come out. There may be parts where it sucks it out, depending on how the storm goes in northern side of the storm. That's possible. But man, if you're anywhere in the eye or south, for sure, you are going to get major storm surge.
Actually heeded the evacuation call?
We've had way higher volumes on our state system than we normally do.
I mean, it was on a Monday. I think I-75 was 150% of what it really was, what it normally is. And that's not the best road anyways. I mean, you start getting close to Ocala, some of these places. I mean, you could just have standstill traffic there. I-4, same thing, much more than we normally have. But I think anyone that's driven in Central Florida knows you get on I-4 near like Champions Gate in some of these places. That's part of the reason why we're doing Moving Florida Forward, doing all that. And like it needs to get done, and we're accelerating that. But there's bad traffic anyways, but there was a lot of people on the road. And then I think yesterday to see Alligator Alley at 150% of its normal, that's telling you that there are a lot of people that have done that. And we've stressing the availability of local shelters. Anytime you evacuate, there's going to be a certain amount of hazard for that because there's a lot of people on the road, especially if conditions start to get bad. The safest thing is drive that 10 miles, 15 miles, wherever, go to the shelter. But you don't have to do that. A lot of people haven't done that. I'm a little surprised at the number of the shelters. I thought it'd be a little bit higher. But I also think, if the storm wasn't going to hit till Wednesday night or Thursday morning, a lot of people wouldn't want to stay in a shelter Monday or Tuesday night. So I do think you're going to see the shelters. I think that number is going to go up today throughout all those counties that are in the eye of the storm. And of course, we have the state shelters. That's up on the DEM website where you can see all those. Those are going to be, it's like big. Those are all thousands of people can fit in each one of those. And we thank, we've had businesses that have leased it out. I know we did Hard Rock. We've done a bunch of stuff. You're going to have internet, you're going to have a generator, there's going to be power. Again, it's not going to be the Four Seasons, but it is going to be something that's going to be tolerable for a night. And so if you're in a situation where you're just hoping that you don't get hit with massive storm surge, those are going to be really, really good options for you to do.
So obviously the storm is very dangerous and you've been pushing for evacuations and whatnot. There's also misinformation out there that I think even a member of your team has tried to dispel online. I know the FEMA administrator brought up other reports of misinformation. I just wanted to know your thoughts.
What specific misinformation are you talking?
There was one. There was one tweet that was telling people not to evacuate because there was some collusion between FEMA and a security team that wouldn't let people back into their homes. That was obviously.
Guys, listen. I think most people are wise to this. We live in an era where if you put out crap online, you can get a lot of people to share it and you can monetize that. That's just the way it is. But if you're hearing something that's just outrageous, just know in the state of Florida, none of that stuff would ever fly. So you don't have to worry about that. FEMA is not leading this show. We are leading this show here in the state of Florida. We're marshaling whatever assets are available to us. We're leveraging that. But certainly with people evacuating, in my executive order, I put in on Saturday that the default is you have a right to immediately return to your home following the storm. Now, there may be some circumstances that are not usual, but I mean, if a bridge is about to collapse, if there's real massive hazards, if there's active rescues going on, but the default is you get back. You can't just say, oh, we're just going to keep people off for 48 hours because we think it'll be easier to clean up debris. No. This is your private property. This is your home. You have a right to go back. So that's in our executive order. That'll be something that we work towards to make sure that that's the case. It's important that people are able to get back. And I'd also note, we talk about the debris. Get all this debris, right? These contractors, some of them were doing a lousy job, others weren't. And we decided to take it on ourselves to go really surge people and supplement that. But by keeping the landfills open 24/7, there was a lot of private citizens that were going cleaning up debris, bringing them back. And these guys got like Ford F-250s. They're bringing them back to the landfill drop-in. That was a huge help. So there's not going to be anything where FEMA is ever going to be able to keep you.
Power fam, it's your boy Fat Joe, and I'm talking to the legends on the show, like the legendary.
From your home, be careful about the nonsense that gets circulated, and just know that the more titillating it is, the more likely somebody is making money off of it, and they don't really give a damn about the well-being and safety of the people that are actually in the eye of this storm. It's all just trying to monetize what they're doing. And I know there's been a lot of stuff about what FEMA's done in other states. Look, I haven't been there. I don't know. But I can tell you in Florida, we are leading this train. We're marshaling all available resources, federal, state, and we're supporting local. And that's the way it's going to be. So you can have confidence in that. Yes, sir.
Right now, roads are passable and encouraging evacuation. Have you guys, based on the size of the storm and the speed it's moving, have you picked a time of when people should not hit the roads and when they should shelter in place?
We haven't, because I think it just depends on where you are, what the conditions are. I would say that the conditions are going to get worse throughout the rest of today. So these local shelters are a great option to be able to go and drive a few miles, get into a shelter, and then just ride out the storm is not going to be a problem. I mean, if you leave right now, go to your local shelter, you're fine, right? If you leave right now and you get on the interstate and you want to drive to Pensacola, look, just know that you're going to start to see some hazards. We do have fatalities on the roads with almost every storm. So the risk that you're assuming is a lot higher than if you just go to a local shelter. So I wouldn't want to say there's like a hard and fast time where you just can't. I think now you can go to the local shelter, but I would say even starting now, when you start talking about the interstate, you are going to see conditions deteriorate throughout today. And there is a lot of rain. There's problems in different parts right now. People get it. There's bands and whatnot. And it's not going to be right now hurricane force right now, but still, this is something that could be problematic. And so, I mean, I just think like if you're elderly or something like that, what would be the better option? Like, I would advise probably just going to the shelter right now rather than trying to get on the interstate, and go visit your kids or something. So, but people can make that decision based on what is in front of them at the time. There will come a time probably where, once we start getting the tropical storm force winds, where it is definitely going to be too dangerous. I don't think we're there now, but I think that's rapidly approaching.
Shelters are, basically for people who are displaced after this storm, will they be able to go to these shelters? If they go to their house and it's destroyed, will they?
I think let Kevin talk. I think these shelters are to ride out the storm. We've worked with counties, with Helene, on sheltering availability for post-storm. I don't know that these are necessarily the same things on that, but we have had that mission. Do you want to address?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. What I'll say to that is, again, to the governor's point, these private sector locations are what we would refer to as the shelters of last resort. Again, they're not the Four Seasons. They're cots in a warehouse in some cases. Our biggest facility is a warehouse that's right next to our new facility in Auburndale. But what we will do, because this is a point of emphasis for the governor, he's given me this direction, hear it loud and clear. When this storm is over, we need to get kids back in school. We need to get community and life back up and running. And we're going to be committed to doing that. My goal that I charge the team out there on the floor with is let's get kids back in school in 3 to 5 school days after landfall. We're going to do that. To be successful at that, we're going to have people that are going to be in long-term sheltering. So we were going to have to open up other big box stores. Now, what we will do there is where we're in warehouses right now along the interstate corridors, we will start looking for maybe those mall big box stores, something that may have even been right on the edge of an evacuation zone or a flood zone. For example, there's a really good place, Gulf Square Mall in Pasco County, Hudson. That is in an evacuation zone. That is in a flood zone. We would never go there to put people in harm's way. But after the fact, that might be a very good place to go and open a recovery shelter while we get kids back at school. Thank you.
Yesterday it was said that the state will ask FEMA for a waiver allowing more contractors out of state to come to Florida. Has FEMA responded to that?
Don't believe so, have they?
No, sir. We're still working with that. Putting that on the letter. We got 3 options. We're just trying to get the best option that's going to have a path of least resistance.
Great. Don't relate to the schools part of that to kind of what Director Guthrie was talking about. I believe after Ian, there was a situation where some of the schools were just too damaged to actually have kids back in there. Is that something you just have to wait and see where the storm hits? And just
we'll assess that at the time. I know, like on Sanibel, for example, those kids went to different school at that point across the bridge. I mean, it's a lot easier when we fixed the Sanibel Causeway, so they were able to do that. That may happen here. We'll see. But that'll likely be driven by the school districts make a decision, and then we'll be able to offer probably some support for that through our Department of Education. But these are things that are live possibilities. A storm of this magnitude, I mean, you are going to have some of these the schools that could be damaged. Now, I would say most of the schools that are not like on barrier islands, these are good structures mostly, and that's why we use them for shelters. So I would imagine you'll see some damage inland, but probably not to the extent that we saw on the barrier islands after Ian. On these barrier islands at the schools they're kind of in the similar spot. It's a big storm, and you could have some damage, and it may not be as simple as just being able to get people back in after 3 days. Okay.
Basically, the people who are staying behind, I know police are going door to door in some places. Are you guys being told who these people are and their locations, and are you?
That's a local thing. I know the sheriffs and the first responders on the county basis, they're doing that. What I've always said is you are being warned on this. You've seen, I mean, just think about Helene on these Gulf Coast in central Florida. It was 100 miles away, and you still had feet of storm surge where there were fatalities as a result of that. This is one that's going to be potentially delivering even more surge than what we saw in Pinellas and Manatee. I mean, almost definitely will deliver more surge in some of these areas. And so that is hazardous. That is life-threatening. And you'd be wise to go to a shelter, ride it out, but rather than try to mess with that. And if there are a lot of people that do stay behind, I mean, unfortunately, there will be fatalities. Like, I don't think there's any way around it when you have storm surge that could be 10 feet. So you have time to do that. There's going to be people who stay behind who are going to be in distress. We are going to, working with the locals, when we're going to conduct rescue operations. We will do that. And a lot of those were successful last time in the Helene, but why would you want to risk it at this point? So this is a big storm. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to create a lot of threat.
For bow hunters like us, we wait all year.
To life, it's obviously going to destroy property. We're bracing for that, but we're doing everything we can to try to mitigate the damage beforehand, and we'll do everything we can to help with rescues and getting people back on their feet afterwards. Okay, thanks. Hurricane Milton is heading our way. It will arrive either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. We are bracing and are prepared to receive a major hit. We're facing this with the seriousness it deserves, but also with the determination that we will get through this. Folks here at the EOC and our first responders throughout the west coast of Florida have been working nonstop now for weeks to prepare and respond to Hurricane Helene, and then now to prepare and respond to this new major hurricane. The common virtue has been dedication to the task at hand, dedication to responding to help our fellow Floridians in danger, and dedication to ensuring that Florida weathers this storm and emerges stronger on the other side. We are prepared and we will respond. I've spoken to the president. We remain in regular contact with FEMA, and we are marshaling all available resources to be able to prepare and respond to Hurricane Milton. I also want to thank the 20 other states who are assisting Florida ahead of the storm. This is just what we as Americans do. We've had opportunities to help other states in the past, including most recently in Western North Carolina. And I think it shows the spirit that these states are stepping up and providing really valued support. We still have a state of emergency for 51 Florida counties. Hurricane Milton is still a major, very strong hurricane. It's currently a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. That is just a whisker shy of a Category 5. And while there is the hope that it will weaken more before landfall, there is high confidence that this hurricane is going to pack a major, major punch and do an awful lot of damage. As you can see behind me, the Florida Division of Emergency Management is fully deployed, fully active. This has been a footing now for over 2 weeks, given both of these storms. The state is actively fulfilling over 1,500 missions. We've delivered massive amounts of supplies, meals, water bottles, sandbags, tarps, generators to be able to help our local communities respond to this storm. We've also deployed more than 11,000 feet of flood protection systems and erected them around critical infrastructure like hospitals, wastewater treatment facilities, and electric infrastructure. Generators have been deployed at shelters and to support sheltering operations. Starlink internet has been deployed across the entire state of Florida. We have surged an additional 600 ambulances, and they are currently in operation helping in the effort. The state of Florida has considerable fuel reserves ahead of Milton, and it's staged, and they will be utilized as needed following the storm. We've already dispatched a lot of fuel in the lead up to this, but we still have on hand 1.6 million gallons of diesel and 1.1 million gallons of gasoline. There is no, right now, fuel shortage. However, demand has been extraordinarily high, and some gas stations have run out. To be able to help ameliorate that, the Florida Highway Patrol has facilitated 106 long-distance fuel tanker escorts with sirens getting through traffic, totaling almost 1 million gallons of gasoline from ports in Tampa, Jacksonville, Everglades, and Manatee, and they are continuing with the fuel escorts as we speak. I'm in contact with the ports on the west coast of Florida. We'll see how this storm impacts those. Clearly, there's a chance that you could have a major impact on Port Manatee as well as on Port Tampa Bay. That could interrupt their ability to receive fuel shipments. And so we're working on contingencies to be able to keep fuel flowing throughout the state of Florida. As we saw this new storm develop, it was clear that a lot of the hardest hit areas on the west coast of Florida from Hurricane Helene had not had major, robust debris removal contracts in place or operations in place. Some of these contractors were good. Some of them were not getting the job done. So you had a major hazard on barrier islands in Pinellas, Manatee, and Sarasota County. So this weekend, I authorized mandated 24/7 debris removal. We took all the Florida Department of Transportation and other agency vehicles, brought them from all across the state, and they are engaged in other missions as their normal course of business, and dedicated it to debris removal. So in a little over 48 hours, and they were working all through the night in the wee hours of the morning in places like Manatee, Sarasota, and Pinellas. They were able to remove 55,000 cubic yards of debris. So that's over 3,000 truckloads of debris. And it's our estimation that on those barrier islands, they were able to make a dent in the debris and reduce it by about 50% just from what Jared Perdue and the other agencies were able to get done. So I want to thank everybody that's been involved in that. It did not stop since this weekend. We're now in a position where it's likely the conditions are going to deteriorate, and so we're going to have to wind that down. But they did make a difference, and there will be less damage from this storm as a result of getting that debris out than there otherwise would have been. The Florida Department of Transportation is staging the following assets ahead of the storm: 156 bridge inspectors, 328 cut and toss personnel, and over 1,500 pieces of heavy equipment. Florida National Guard, Florida State Guard, Florida Fish and Wildlife, and the Florida Highway Patrol have activated additional personnel in advance of the storm. We have hundreds of state search and rescue personnel on hand, 26 total teams. They are currently embedded in the potential impact sites along the West Coast to begin immediate rescue operations as soon as the storm passes. The National Guard is deploying 6,000 Florida National Guardsmen, as well as 3,000 National Guardsmen from other states. And so we thank for the support on that. We have 34 search and rescue have been brought in from other states. We have 500 tactical vehicles, including 180 high water vehicles, aerial, water, and ground National Guard search and rescue teams.
I started the Completed out of my love for prints and has snowballed into a stationery brand.
The largest Florida National Guard search and rescue mobilization in the entire history of the state of Florida. Our Florida State Guard is also deploying almost 200 soldiers, 10 maritime crews, 3 high water UTVs, 2 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters, 4 drone teams, 15 cut and toss crews, 2 amphibious rescue crews. We want to thank them. I mean, this was just a dream a couple years ago that they would be involved, and there was a lot of unfair criticism when we stood it up, but they have made a huge difference in this hurricane season. They're going to continue to do it here. We have also worked with the utilities to have the largest staging of utility workers and linemen in advance of the storm any time in American history. We will have in Florida, by the time the storm arises, over 50,000 linemen, and those linemen are being brought in from places as far away as California. So as soon as that storm passes, you're going to see the assessments and the power restoration efforts commence immediately. Additionally, the state of Florida has assisted with the evacuation of 352 healthcare facilities in the potential path of the storm. 16 hospitals have been evacuated. The state veteran nursing homes are currently located that are in the cone, are all accepting families of their residents to shelter with them. All of those are hurricane proof. All of them are outside of flood zones. So if you do have a family member that's in one of our state nursing homes, you can go and you can shelter with them. That's a safe option, and I know the veterans would appreciate it. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is directing deployment of additional 500 out-of-state law enforcement officers. These officers will help respond after the storm to maintain law and order. And there is going to be a lot of damage from this storm. There's going to be opportunities for people to try to take advantage of that. My message to you is don't even think about it. We are going to come down hard on you. You are not going to be, you're going to regret that you tried to do that. So I appreciate all the other folks from out of state who are coming in to supplement this effort. We need to maintain law and order. FDLE's mutual aid team is managing more than 70 active law enforcement missions, including identifying post-storm response squads. And these are really important missions, and we're happy for that. So we're preparing for Milton, but we're also still recovering from Hurricane Helene. When Hurricane Helene hit, we reactivated the Florida Disaster Fund. We are now accepting donations into the Florida Disaster Fund for both storms, both Helene and for Milton. This is a private fund. It's affiliated with the state in terms of disaster, but it's tax deductible donations. We distributed $63 million after Hurricane Ian to help people largely in Southwest Florida. This is something that is really, really important. So I've directed Volunteer Florida to keep the fund activated for Hurricane Milton. I want to thank, there's already been millions raised for Helene. I want to thank Lennar, Wells Fargo, Walmart, and Publix for making really significant donations. And I know there's going to be a lot more that are going to want to do it. To contribute to the Florida Disaster Fund, you can text disaster to 20222, disaster to 20222, or you can visit floridadisasterfund.org. So now we're bearing down to where the storm is going to arrive within the next 24 hours. You still have time to evacuate if you are in an evacuation zone, particularly if you're in Manatee, Sarasota, Charlotte, those areas. I mean, this track can bounce around. It's not guaranteed it's going to hit there. A lot of the solutions have it going there. You have time to do that. Now, conditions aren't going to be great today. I would say that the roads and the interstates, they are flowing. We've waived tolls. We've done all that so people can do. But the best option would probably be just to evacuate within your own county to one of the shelters. All those counties have multiple shelters that are open. There's a lot of space in those shelters right now. And certainly it would be safe to do a very short evacuation, tens of miles, rather than get on the interstate and go. The roads are still open. People can do that. But I just want to warn people that the conditions are likely going to continue to deteriorate throughout the course of the day. We had, of course, on Monday, when the initial evacuations were coming down, particularly in the Tampa Bay area, had a lot of traffic on I-4 and on I-75. FDOT did the emergency shoulder plan. That helped, but it was slow. And those roads can be very slow anyways. By the time we got to the end of the night, through the wee hours of the morning, it was going pretty quickly. Yesterday was not as bad on those roads as it was on Monday, but what we did see is Alligator Alley down in southern Florida was about 150% of its normal capacity, and I think that's because as people saw the storm potentially bending a little further south, I think a lot of people in Southwest Florida decided to evacuate across the state, and so that's that. The roads now are good, but I would just caution the conditions are not great now, and they're likely going to get worse as the day goes on. We do have a lot of mandatory evacuations in place. If you want to get a hotel, you can go to visitflorida.com/Priceline, expedia.com/Florida. That is the emergency accommodation module that is there. I'm not sure what availability there's going to be in a lot of these places at this point, but if that's something that you're interested in, you can try that. Of course, we've worked with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association for distress rates for hotels, as well as waiving pet fees. And I know a lot of the hotels in the state of Florida have responded very positively for that. So I just want to thank them for doing that. We've also partnered with Uber for Hurricane Milton to provide free rides to and from shelters and counties with active evacuation orders. So if you want to utilize that, you go to when you do the ride, you do the promo code Milton Relief, just one word, Milton Relief. OnStar has activated crisis mode, which provides free crisis assistance services and in-vehicle data for Chevy, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac owners. Schools, most of the school districts in the state are closed today. Obviously, if you get out of the path in like the Panhandle, not as much, but in that Florida Peninsula, virtually all school districts are closed. All Florida counties and Miccosukee and Seminole tribes are assisting the state with storm response, and I want to thank all those for their great work. We have 149 general population shelters that are open throughout the state. The current total shelter population is just 31,000 individuals. We have room in those shelters for a total population of almost 200,000 individuals. So there is space available in these shelters. I know a lot of people would rather stay in a hotel, stay with friends, and that's fine. But especially now as the storm's getting closer, you may be able to get in your...
It's totally cool to rent a car, a house, or even this.
Your car and drive 10 miles, get to a shelter, ride the storm out, and then be able to go as you see fit. And hopefully you'll be able to get back to your place very quickly. But space is available. So there are 36 county-owned special needs shelters that are open and operating in counties that are in the path of the storm. Schools and other facilities are now also being used as supplementary state-supported shelters across the state. The state of Florida has now opened 6 state-operated supplemental shelters. These may not ultimately be needed, But you have a lot of people in the evacuation zones. I think most people decided to just leave and find something on their own. We still have a lot of room in the traditional shelters, but out of an abundance of caution, we wanted to open additional options. So the 6 state-operated supplemental shelters currently are Hard Rock Event Center, 5223 Orient Road in Tampa, City Furniture, 3205 South Frontage Road in Plant City, Bay Care, 1802 North Del Mabry Highway in Tampa, Life Science Logistics, 310 North Galloway Road, Lakeland, Babcock Ranch, 43281 Cypress Parkway and Punta Gorda, the Wiregrass Ranch Sports Camp, 3021 Sports Coast Way in Wesley Chapel, Florida. That site also has capabilities to service special needs individuals. And Kevin is also working on setting up a 7th site. Now, those state-supported shelters, they do have generators, so you will have access to power. I think you have Starlink at those. They've got Starlink internet. So look, it's not the 4 seasons, but there are some things there that will make it tolerable to be able to get through the next 24 to 36 hours. You can find the shelter options at floridadisaster.org/shelters. You can also find your county's EM page at floridadisaster.org/counties, floridadisaster.org/counties. So people have time now to evacuate if they are in the area of an evacuation zone. We see the storm is a very strong Category 4. Said from the beginning, the prognostications are it's likely going to weaken before it gets, but it may not. And even if it does weaken, it's still going to be a major impact. So you still have time now to make decisions to protect yourself and your family with massive amounts of space at these shelters. The roads are flowing. Conditions are going to get bad, so you just got to be very careful with that. But certainly these shelters are a very live option. I want to just finally thank everybody. When you have these emergencies with a major hurricane, it's a huge deal. We spin up all state agencies, everyone here at the EOC, working basically around the clock. You have all the counties and cities that were in the path of Hurricane Helene. And it wasn't just the Big Bend where you took the blow. It was massive surge up and down the west coast of the Florida Peninsula. A lot of damage was done. There were thousands of rescue missions that were effectuated immediately after the storm. Huge things done. Fixing the road and SO 786, helping with the bridges. There's so much that was done in the immediate aftermath, and it's still being done in that. Then you have another storm that's developed, and immediately you're back on that posture, around the clock, no time to rest, no time to sleep for a lot of these folks, and it's not easy. And so I just want to say, on behalf of the state of Florida, thank you for discharging your duties. Thank you for accepting this mission. It's not going to be easy, but there's no better group of people that I would want responding to this than the folks that we have doing it throughout this state. When you're talking about the counties down on the Gulf Coast of Florida, you're talking about the people that we have here assembled in Tallahassee. These folks have proven themselves. They're working hard. And we will.
Take their ego at the door, and all it is about teamwork right now. We're going to get that done. We're less than 24 hours from landfall, and the governor has been working tirelessly alongside all of us to ensure that we have all the resources needed ahead of landfall. Today, we continue to move thousands of resources to staging areas across the state. We want to ensure we have the right resources to move into the right places at the right time. Life-threatening storm surge is expected along Florida's west coast. Counties from Levy to Collier have ordered mandatory evacuations, and I urge you to heed those warnings if you're in one of those zones. You might not want to evacuate, but there are free shelters in your area. If you live in a mobile or manufactured home and you're in this impact area, please go to a local shelter. If you rely on power for medical devices or other things, please go to a local shelter. If you live in a home that can't withstand the hurricane force winds, again, please go to a local shelter. We have enormous capacity. We were about 31,000 sheltered last night. We have the ability to do well over 200,000 in the impact area. If you're making a decision to say, oh, it's too late, There's not enough room for me. There is room. Please come. Your home and belongings can be replaced, but you cannot. You can find a list of all shelters, including our state-run shelters that the governor just mentioned, by visiting floridadisaster.org/shelters. We also have options to assist residents with evacuating. We still are running our shuttle service. You can also go to floridadisaster.org for updates on that 1-800 number. That number is 1-800-729-3413. Again, that's 1-800-729-3413. We also partner with Uber, and you can call them and put in the discount code of Milton Relief. That's Milton Relief, and that'll be a free ride to the shelter. If you don't live in an evacuation zone and decide to shelter in place, make sure you have enough supplies to weather the storm and after the storm conditions cease. We recommend you have 7 days of supplies on hand. Power outages are expected with this storm. Charge your electronic devices now before the power starts to go out. If anybody's looked at the radar in the last 8 hours, you see a lot of rain heading into the impacted area.
I do want to thank everybody for being here. I will continue later on. I'll bring more update on this live. All right. Thank you guys for being here, and you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.